Picture this. Firefighters have just pulled a man from a burning house. He's out, he's away from the smoke, he's alive. You'd think the worst is over, right? Well, not exactly. Because as the medics get to work, they realize something is terribly wrong. He's suffocating, right there in front of them. He's breathing, he's getting pure oxygen from a mask, but it's just not working. His body is absolutely screaming for air, even though he's surrounded by it. So what on earth is going on here? This is the mystery we're going to unravel today. All right, let's get into it. To solve this, we have to think like the first responders on the scene. We have to look for clues. And in a medical mystery like this one, the patient's own body is giving us all the evidence we need. So here's what we know. He's complaining about a burning throat and a really severe headache. Now look at those vitals. They are just through the roof. His blood pressure is sky high, his pulse is racing, and he's struggling to breathe. His whole body is in overdrive, what doctors call sympathetic hyperactivity. These aren't just random symptoms, They're very specific clues, and they're all pointing to a particular kind of poison.
But the biggest, most baffling clue of all is the oxygen problem. Paramedics are pumping him full of high-flow O2, and it's doing nothing. This is a terrifying paradox, and it's happening deep inside his body at the cellular level.
See, the problem isn't with his lungs. His lungs are doing their job, pulling in all the oxygen they can get. The problem is with his cells. He's been hit by something called a cellular asphyxiant. It's a poison that basically stops the cells from being able to use the oxygen that's being delivered right to their doorstep. Just think about that for a second. It's an absolutely horrific idea. His cells are literally drowning in a sea of the one thing they need to survive. It's a complete biological lockdown. So, what is this invisible killer? Well, it turns out it's something shockingly common in most house fires today. It was hiding in the smoke he was just rescued from. The killer is cyanide, a poison so fast-acting and so lethal that it brought his entire life-sustaining system to a screeching halt. We always hear about carbon monoxide being the big danger in smoke, but cyanide is right up there. And it's a huge problem now because our homes are just filled with stuff. Plastics, synthetic fabrics, foams in our sofas, our carpets, our electronics. When all that nitrogen-rich material burns, it releases cyanide gas. It's a deadly, insidious byproduct of our modern world. But here's the amazing part. There is a treatment. There's an antidote that works in this incredibly clever way. It doesn't try to fight the poison head-on. No, it's much smarter than that. It outwits it with a brilliant chemical trick. The immediate treatment in the field is a really precise cycle. The patient inhales a chemical called amyl nitrite for just 20 seconds. Then they get 40 seconds of high-flow oxygen, and you just repeat that 1-minute cycle over and over. It is an absolute race against time. So what in the world is that 20 seconds of amyl nitrite actually doing? This is where it gets genius. The amyl nitrite basically performs this incredible act of biological deception. It changes some of the patient's own blood cells into something called methemoglobin. And here's the trick. Cyanide finds this new stuff irresistible. It likes it even more than the vital parts of the cell it was attacking. So the cyanide lets go of the cell and latches onto this new decoy instead. It's a brilliant sacrificial play that frees the cells to start breathing again. In a crisis like this, time is everything. And choosing the wrong treatment can be just as deadly as the poison itself. So let's take a quick look at why other common emergency antidotes would have been total disasters here. And this right here shows you how high the stakes are. Thinking about hyperbaric therapy? Nope, that's for carbon monoxide poisoning. Totally different mechanism. Calcium chloride or ethyl alcohol? Wrong again. Those are for things like overdoses or antifreeze poisoning. Giving any of these would have been a catastrophic waste of time, doing nothing to stop the cyanide. This is why a fast, accurate diagnosis is everything. So after all that, what is the single most important lesson from this mystery? It's that we have to learn to spot this deadly pattern, which is hiding inside a very common emergency. So here's the key takeaway, the thing to burn into your memory. Yes, a fire victim can have both carbon monoxide and cyanide poisoning, but it's this specific combination, the burning throat, that severe headache, and that massive spike in heart rate and blood pressure that should make a little alarm bell go off in every clinician's head that says, "Thanks, cyanide." It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our modern world, packed with all sorts of complex chemicals and materials, what other invisible dangers are just hiding in plain sight, just waiting for their moment?